Simon & Schuster Audio presents The Peacock and the Sparrow, a novel, by I.S. Berry, read by Pete Simonelli. For Rick and Zev. So I find words I never thought to speak, in streets I never thought I should revisit, when I left my body on a distant shore. T.S. Eliot, Little Gidding. 1. I hated the smell of Rashid's cigarettes. He always lit up in my car, a beat-up Mitsubishi Lancer with just enough space to breathe. I hated the smell of his cigarettes, but I always took one when he offered. It was the ability to please that you learned as a spy. Smoking a cigarette, offering compliments you didn't mean, falling down drunk from having accepted too many vodkas. His cigarettes were Canary Kingdom, a cheap Middle East brand that claimed to import its tobacco from Virginia. Virginia, that's where CIA headquarters is, I would inform Rashid casually. Link his source of pleasure to his source of risk, another trick of the manipulation trade. I'd offered to get him real American cigarettes with my ration cards on the naval base, but he'd refused. Said he liked his native carcinogens. Anyway, he insisted on green apple, a flavor I'd never find in any of Uncle Sam's packs. It was my misfortune that cigarettes were Rashid's only vice. He was too pious to drink, and I was never able to expense alcohol during our meetings. Green apple had begun to mix with the odor from a nearby dumpster, and our stationary car smelled like a rotting orchard. "We will not negotiate until they release Junaid," Rashid was saying, shaking his head and looking out the window. The slums stared back at us, brown and uneven and stunted, as though they'd grown tired over the years, further from notions of a legitimate city. Late afternoon sun turned the car windows, caked with dust, to tarnished copper. I'd convinced myself that the car didn't need a washing, that the dirt helped hide my informants. Rashid's eyes narrowed, his black pupils reflecting the dying rays of sun like rusty steel blades. He was getting self-righteous and indignant, as he always did when talking about Junaid, the dissident poet who'd been rotting in a Bahrain jail since the early days of the uprising. "Someday the king will answer to Allah for what he has done." Spittle flew through Rashid's crooked brown teeth. His youngish skin was dark.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?